Electricity consumers in UP are set to face a noticeable rise in their monthly power bills starting June after the UP Power Corporation Limited, or also known as UPPCL, announced the imposition of an additional surcharge under the Fuel and Power Purchase Adjustment Mechanism. And the move is expected to increase electricity bills by nearly 10% across all the categories of consumers, including domestic households, commercial establishments, and industrial users, adding fresh financial pressure at a time when many families are already dealing with rising living costs and intense summer demand. And according to the official order issued by the power utility, the additional charge will be reflected in electricity bills generated from the June billing cycle. It will not be included in the regular tariff structure but will instead appear as a separate surcharge component. And this amount will be recovered over and above the standard consumption charges, meaning consumers will see a clear increase in their final payable bills. Well, the decision has been taken in order to recover increased fuel cost and power procurement expenses incurred by the distribution companies in the recent months, particularly due to the fluctuations in fuel prices and higher market rates for electricity purchases. Officials from the Power Department explained that the Fuel and Power Purchase Adjustment Mechanism is a regulatory provision that allows electricity distribution companies to pass on changes in fuel and procurement costs to consumers. Under the UP Electricity Regulatory Commission's multi-year tariff regulations of 2025, such adjustments are permitted with a time lag, and specifically the regulation allows utilities to recover additional cost incurred in a particular month after a delay of 3 months. And in this case, the additional expenditure incurred in March 2026 will be recovered through bills issued in June 2026. The surcharge has been calculated at 10% under Clause 16, Subsection 4 of the MYT Regulations 2025 and will be uniformly applied across all the consumer categories without any differentiation. And this means that whether a consumer is a residential user, a small shop owner, or a large industrial unit, the surcharge rate will remain the same, although the final impact on bills will vary depending on overall electricity consumption. The Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited has defended the decision, stating that it is necessary to ensure the financial stability of the state's electricity distribution system. Officials have also clarified that power distribution companies often face significant variations in fuel cost due to the changing market conditions, global energy price fluctuations, and procurement expenses from different generation reports. Well, the surcharge is therefore intended to bridge the gap between actual expenditure and revenue collected through standard tariffs. And the utility has also stated that a detailed calculation sheet supporting the surcharge has been prepared and will be uploaded on the official website for the transparency. And this is intended to allow consumers and regulatory authorities to review how the 10% figure has been derived and how cost variations have been accounted for in the billing process. And despite the official justification, the announcement has sparked concern among consumer groups and the general public. Many residents have expressed worry over the timing of the hike, as it comes during the peak summer season, when electricity consumption typically rises sharply due to the heavy use of cooling appliances. And at the same time, several regions of Uttar Pradesh have been reporting power cuts and supply disruptions, further intensifying public frustration. Consumer advocacy groups argue that the additional financial burden is difficult to justify when electricity supply remains inconsistent in the several districts. They have also pointed out that households are already facing inflationary pressures on essential goods and services, and an increase in electricity cost will further strain monthly budgets. Small businesses in particular are expected to feel the impact more sharply, as they operate on tight margins and rely heavily on uninterrupted power supply. Well, the decision is also likely to draw political attention, with opposition voices expected to question the timing and rationale of the surcharge. Critics may argue that passing on fuel cost fluctuations to consumers without addressing inefficiencies in procurement and distribution places an unfair burden on the public. And on the other hand, power sector officials maintain that such adjustments are a standard practice across the electricity industry and are essential for maintaining the financial health of the distribution companies. And without periodic recovery of fuel and procurement cost variations, utilities could face mounting losses, which may ultimately affect long-term supply reliability and infrastructure investment. And as the revised billing cycle begins in June, the impact of the surcharge will gradually become visible in households and businesses across UP. Consumers will see higher electricity bills, reflecting the additional 10% charge, and the overall cost of power consumption is expected to rise significantly during the coming months. While the development highlights the continuing challenge of balancing affordable electricity for consumers with the financial sustainability of power distribution systems in a state that faces consistently high and growing energy demand. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.